Carp fishing is a multifaceted discipline that requires a deep understanding of fish behavior, environmental conditions, and a diverse array of tactical approaches. Unlike many other forms of angling, the pursuit of carp is often as much about the strategy and the hunt as it is about the final capture. The versatility of the species allows for a wide range of techniques, each suited to different venues, seasons, and feeding habits. Whether you are a static angler waiting for a single run or a hunter stalking the margins, mastering these techniques is the key to consistent success. Static ledgering, often referred to as the bait and wait approach, is the most common and perhaps the most iconic carp fishing technique. It relies on a stationary presentation where the bait is anchored to the lake bed using a lid weight. This method typically utilizes a bolt rig system, where the weight of the lid ensures the hook is set the moment a carp picks up the bait and moves away. Anglers using this technique often employ multiple rods supported by bite alarms and indicators, allowing them to fish for extended periods, including overnight sessions. The effectiveness of static ledgering lies in its ability to create a localized feeding zone through the introduction of loose feed, such as boilies, pellets, or particles, drawing fish into the area and keeping them there until they find the hook bait. Stalking is the antithesis of the static approach, emphasizing mobility, observation, and stealth. Instead of waiting for the fish to come to the bait, the stalking angler actively searches for the fish. This technique is most effective in the margins under overhanging trees or near reed beds where carp naturally congregate to feed on insects and crustaceans. Armed with a single rod and minimal tackle, the stalker moves quietly around the lake, using polarized glasses to peer through the surface glare and locate cruising or feeding fish. Once a target is spotted, the angler must present the bait with extreme precision and delicacy, often lowering it directly into the fish's path. Stalking is a high-intensity method that provides immediate feedback, as you can often watch the carp's reaction to your bait in real time. Surface fishing, or floater fishing, is widely regarded as the most exciting way to catch carp, particularly during the warm summer months. When the sun is high and the water is warm, carp frequently spend their time in the upper layers, basking or cruising just below the surface. This technique involves introducing floating baits, such as dog biscuits, bread, or specialized floating pellets, to encourage the fish to feed off the top. The sight of a large carp rising to the surface, its mouth opening to engulf a floating mixer, is a pinnacle of the sport. Anglers may use a controller float to provide the weight needed for casting while maintaining a buoyant presentation, or they may choose to free line a bait for ultimate stealth at close range. The key to successful surface fishing is patience, building the fish's confidence by feeding them free offerings until they are competing for every morsel. Zig fishing is a specialized technique designed to target carp that are suspended in the mid-water column, neither feeding on the bottom nor the surface. Carp are known to spend a significant portion of their time at various depths, often influenced by thermoclines, oxygen levels, or the movement of natural food like Daphnia. A zig rig consists of a buoyant hook bait, usually a small piece of foam or a pop-up, presented on a long hook link that extends from the lead on the lake bed. This allows the angler to position the bait at any depth, from a few inches off the bottom to just below the surface. Finding the zig depth is a process of trial and error, but once discovered, it can lead to multiple captures when bottom fishing remains unproductive. Adjustable zig rigs further refine this technique, allowing for quick depth changes without the need to recast. Margin fishing is a focused subset of stalking that targets the very edges of the water. Many anglers make the mistake of casting as far as possible, overlooking the fact that carp frequently patrol the margins in search of food that has been washed in or dropped by other anglers. The edge is often where the largest fish can be found, feeding under the cover of bankside vegetation. This technique requires absolute silence and minimal movement, as fish in shallow water are extremely sensitive to vibrations and shadows. Baiting a marginal spot and waiting for the telltale signs of bubbles or a waving tail is a classic tactic that has accounted for countless specimen carp. The use of backleads can be crucial here to keep the line pinned to the bottom and avoid spooking fish as they move over the spot. Method feeder fishing is a highly effective, high-attraction technique that excels on well-stocked venues and match-style lakes. It involves molding a ball of ground bait or softened pellets around a specialized feeder that contains the hook bait. As the bait breaks down on the lake bed, it creates a concentrated pile of attraction with the hook bait sitting right in the center. This presentation encourages aggressive, competitive feeding as carp root through the pile to find the largest morsels. The short hook link used in method feeder setups ensures that the fish is hooked almost instantly upon taking the bait. This technique is particularly useful for building a feeding frenzy, where the constant introduction of small amounts of bait keeps the fish active and interested. Float fishing for carp is a traditional and highly sensitive method that remains effective on many waters. Whether using a waggler on a lake or a specialized float on a slow-moving river, this technique provides exceptional bite indication. The lift method is a classic float fishing tactic where the float is overweighted so that it sits slightly submerged. When a carp picks up the bait and lifts the lid, the float rises out of the water, signaling a bite. Float fishing allows for very delicate bait presentation and is often used in conjunction with baits like sweet corn, breadflake, or worms. It is a particularly rewarding way to fish, requiring the angler to be constantly attentive to the float's movement. PVA bag fishing is a precision technique that ensures the hook bait is always presented perfectly alongside a small amount of concentrated feed. Solid PVA bags are filled with pellets, powders, and the hook bait, then licked and stuck to create a compact, aerodynamic package. When the bag hits the water, it sinks to the bottom and eventually dissolves, leaving a small pile of bait with the hook bait sitting on top. This parcel of attraction is irresistible to a passing carp and is an excellent way to fish over light weed or debris that might otherwise foul the hook. Mesh PVA bags or sticks are a similar concept, often used to create a small cloud of attraction around the hook link. Particle fishing involves the use of small seeds and grains, such as hemp, maize, and maple peas, to create a large carpet of bait on the lake bed. This technique is designed to keep carp preoccupied for long periods as they sift through the small particles to find every last morsel. The constant movement and crunching of fish feeding on particles can create a competitive environment that draws in more fish. Spodding, or using a spom, is the most common way to introduce large quantities of particles at range, creating a massive feeding zone that can be seen and heard by carp from across the lake. Sight fishing, aided by high-quality polarized glasses, is a fundamental skill that underpins many of the most successful carp fishing techniques. Being able to see the fish, understand their patrol routes, and observe their feeding behavior provides invaluable information that cannot be gained through any other means. Whether you are looking for bubbles, clouded water, or the subtle movement of a fin, the ability to read the water is what separates the elite anglers from the rest. Finally, night fishing is a core component of the carp angling experience, as many large carp are more active and less cautious under the cover of darkness. This technique requires careful organization and specialized equipment, including bed chairs, bivvies, and reliable lighting. Managing a run in the middle of the night, often in cold or wet conditions, requires a calm and practiced routine. The tranquility of the lake at night, combined with the anticipation of a screaming alarm, creates a unique atmosphere that is a defining part of the carp fishing lifestyle. Mastering these diverse techniques allows an angler to adapt to any challenge, ensuring that no matter the venue or the conditions, they have the tools and the knowledge to fool the ultimate freshwater prize.